Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to the Be a Better You Annual Challenge, Day 70 today. We are talking about communication all this month, and today's topics are comfort zone and getting comfortable and having courage in order to communicate and improve our communications. I'm going to share 8 different practical ways that you can use, just steps, and they don't have to be in this order, to be more comfortable and show courage in your communication. And we'll talk about a couple of people's stories. I like to share people's stories just so that we understand the power of these tools in the hands of us all, regular, everyday people. And then I'll share the 8 steps. First off, we've got Sarah. She's a college student who is petrified of public speaking, of speaking up in even small groups, much less speaking up in her classes. And so she's struggling, but what she decides to do is buck up and ask. She starts small. She starts by asking questions and speaking up and sharing in her small study group. And that helps her to get more confident. And she eventually goes on to actually become a leader at her school and for her student body by speaking to hundreds of people at a time. She would never have had the courage to do that if she hadn't started small by asking questions and building up her confidence in the small groups, in the study groups. I will admit that I love study groups. It wasn't until my junior year of college that I actually discovered that we could have study groups. We could get together in groups of people and we could help each other learn, and how powerful they were. I wished I had learned that as a freshman. It would have made college a lot easier and less stressful in certain situations. David is a guy who doesn't share anything. He keeps what he's really feeling to himself all the time. What he was finding is it was alienating his friends and acquaintances and his work associates because they didn't necessarily trust him. They didn't feel like he was honest or open with them. And so he started, one day he unloaded to his best friend all he was feeling, what was going on and how stressed out he was, and that deepened their relationship. And from that experience, he gained more courage to stretch his comfort zone and share more of himself with the people that he worked with. That garnered him a promotion and a lot more successful career than had he not discovered that he could open up, show courage in his communication, show authenticity and honesty and integrity in his communication, and that would help his career. Michelle is a small business owner that I work with, and she was struggling with leadership, and she's got a small online marketing firm and online store, and she's trying to build her team, and she's struggling with that. And so we encouraged her to take a leadership and coaching with us, but also to do some specific leadership and speaking training to give her more confidence to stretch her comfort zone so she can interact more successfully with the people that she's building. And her last performance review, we do 360 review with the people that report to her, has improved drastically in her ability to lead, communicate, and her business is growing. It's doubled in size in the last 6 months, which is incredible. So courage, why is courage important? Because we will never stretch our comfort zone. We will never do anything that is uncomfortable for us if we don't have courage, right? Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is just knowing that we're afraid to do something, but we're just going to take action and do it anyway. I have this little graphic from the days when I did idioms for Hit the Spot, and it shows a target as our comfort zone. And in the center, on the bullseye, we're super duper comfortable, right? And as we go out to the edges further and further away, just like a target, it's easier to hit, but it's also, we're less and less comfortable. So when we think of something in this outer ring, it's like NFW. We're not doing it. We're not going to no matter what. But if we start in the middle with something small that's close to our comfort zone, we can train ourselves to go further and further out and be more and more brave when it comes to trying different things. And before we know it, things that were super uncomfortable and we thought, no way, we're never going to do it, like doing videos, for example, we'll find that we're doing them consistently and not scared to death every time we push the play button or the live button. So what are some of these 8 practical ways to go ahead and show more courage in our communication? I grab my magnifying glass. Number 1, acknowledge that you're afraid, but take action anyway, right? The only way we ever expand and grow is by taking action in the face of fear or discomfort or not really wanting to do it. You know, I got to admit, there are days I don't want to get up every day and make videos, right? But I do it anyway because I know that after I do it, I feel so much better than if I had postponed it and not done it. Number 2, we want to start small, like Sarah did, by doing things that were just a little bit uncomfortable to do. She was super uncomfortable to speak up ever. Very, very shy, but she figured, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to ask a question in my study group. Well, that's what study groups are for, right? It's for asking questions, learning from one another, and then sharing how we see things and what we're learning. But she started small, and that ballooned into and blossomed into her being more comfortable and more confident, performing better in school, actually becoming a leader in her school. Embrace discomfort. I got to tell you, if we can't embrace feeling discomfortable sometimes, we're in big trouble. We need to understand that growth happens outside our comfort zone. In our comfort zone, we're really, really comfortable, but nothing ever changes, and we definitely don't grow. We just stay the same. But the truth is, if we're staying the same and the world around us is changing, we're not really staying the same. We're actually declining. So we can be part of the decline, or we can choose to embrace a little bit of discomfort and continue to grow. Practice active listening. I say this all the time. If you listen, people will tell you everything you need to know in order to help and support them. 5, seek feedback so that you can improve, right? The only way we improve is if we get outside feedback in terms of how our communication is impacting and affecting other people. Is what we intend to say and communicate actually coming across? Well, how do you know if you don't ask questions and get feedback? 6, develop self-awareness. We need to understand that our emotions and our reactions allow us to be a better communicator, but we also have to have them in check sometimes if the level of emotions and the level of passion and energy isn't appropriate for the situation. But developing self-awareness will help us to tune into that and be a better communicator in those stressful and challenging situations. 7, we want to engage in role-playing. It means we want to practice, right? We want to practice. If you've got a buddy or a friend that you can practice having conversations with, especially difficult conversations about difficult topics, that is really, really powerful in improving our listening, our active listening, as well as our comfort level in communicating and talking about different things. There are certain topics I just try not to talk about because I know that they're not going to lead the conversation or the relationship in the direction I want them to go. And then finally, 8, use positive affirmations. We're going to talk about affirmations a lot this year because they're such an easy, powerful tool and they're 100% within your control. And I like tools that we can make our own in order to help us grow and continuously improve in all areas of our life, especially communication, confidence. We spent all last month on confidence, which is closely tied to communication. So today, what's our action item? Our action item is to notice when you're in a situation where you're not comfortable, where you're outside your comfort zone, and you need to show a little courage in order to communicate, stand up for yourself, set boundaries, talk about difficult topics, confront a bully, confront a situation where somebody's just being inappropriate, and temper our emotional response to that. Had a situation like that yesterday personally, and I got upset, and I'm like, why am I upset? This is just a person that it doesn't really matter in my life. All right, so pick one of these steps and just apply it today. So as you come upon a situation where you're thinking, oh, I want to speak up and say something, but your self-talk tries to shut you down, use one of these to show courage, stretch outside your comfort zone, and actually share. The more we share of ourselves, the more we build our relationships with other people, the more people know, like, and trust us. The more people know, like, and trust us, the deeper our relationships. It's kind of a never-ending cycle. All right, if I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an absolutely fabulous day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.